Hello, this is Dr. Jessica Han. In this module, I'm going to talk about reproductive barriers and the mechanisms of speciation in Chapter 7. What is a species? There are many definitions about species. The word species is derived from a Latin word meaning appearance. However, the appearance alone cannot be used to tell one species from another. For example, in the picture on your left corner, these two birds look alike, but they are different species because they have different behaviors, they make different sounds, and they cannot interbreed between each other. The picture on the right-hand corner shows many dogs. We know dogs have variety of appearance, however, they can interbreed between each other to produce many hybrids and new dogs. So all these dogs belong to the same species. The most common definition for species is defined as that a population who is capable of interbreeding to produce healthy, fertile offspring. What types of species might not fit the definition above? As we remember, we talk about prokaryotic cells. Many living organisms, such as bacteria, archaea, they are prokaryotic cells. When they reproduce their offsprings, they go through non-sexual reproduction through binary fission. So their offsprings are produced as identical to their parents. There's no interbreeding required. But bacteria has many species under that domain, so is archaea. So when you use the definition of species to define prokaryotic cells, the definition of species do not apply. What keeps members of different species separate? There are many barriers to prevent members of different species from breeding. Those barriers are called reproductive barriers. Reproductive barriers can be subcategorized into the following categories. Behavioral isolation refer to members of a species often identify each other through specific rituals. Mating time differences refer to many species are capable to reproduce only at specific times. Habitat isolation refer to if species live in a slightly different habitats, they may never meet. Mechanical incompatibility refer to members of different species often cannot mate because their anatomies are incompatible. Gametic incompatibility refer to the gametes, either sperm or egg, of different species usually cannot fertilize each other. Hybrid weakness. Offspring of two species may be unfit or they may be sterile. How can we get new species? The speciations occur when one ancestral species evolves into one or more new species. Some event separates a population, such as time, space, or genetic barrier. Populations can diverge along their own evolution path. When speciation occurs, there are two models to produce speciation. In the graduated model, a species acquires a small adaptation to its environment over millions of years. As shown in this figure, the ancestor of this animal started about 45 to 55 million years ago. By 5 million years ago, or even today, the horse evolved into its current form. Over such a long period of time, the ancestor of the horse slowly changed their form, their height, and their shape into current form. This is a gradual process of evolution. Some species can be created through a burst. This is called a punctuated equilibrium model. In this model, there are periods of stasis interrupted by occasional bursts of speciation. The species can occur suddenly during a period of explosion. Even in this punctuated equilibrium model, the rate of evolution still took millions of years to happen. The population are separated due to many reasons. Sometimes it's due to a physical barrier called allopatric speciation. For example, there's a big valley between those two areas, so the species at different sides of this valley are going to be different. The formation of Grand Canyon produced two isolated habitats. One species of squirrel is now found exclusively on each side of the canyon. Sympatric speciation can also separate populations. Populations can be separated suddenly due to a large-scale genetic change. For example, different type of wheat with different number of chromosomes, suddenly they become fertilized together to produce a hybrid offspring. Then that offspring can be self-fertilized to form the modern bred wheat. In summary, we talk about definition of the species, the mechanisms of speciation, and the reasons why populations can be split.